You know, every year, well over 100 million people sit down to watch a football game. But honestly, it's so much more than that, isn't it? We're talking about a full-blown cultural event, a massive spectacle of entertainment, blockbuster advertising, and, well, an absolutely epic amount of food. So that's the big question, right? How did a single championship game explode into the gigantic event we all know today? Well, to really get it, we've got to go all the way back to the beginning. Long before all the fireworks and A-list celebrities, the Super Bowl was really just born from a good old-fashioned, intense rivalry. So, picture this. It's the 1960s, and you've got these two competing football leagues. On one side, you have the NFL, the established, old-school league. And on the other, you have the AFL, this flashy, young upstart. The tension was, let's just say, pretty high. So in 1967, they finally agreed to have one single world championship game to prove who was best. And that name, the Super Bowl, you'd think it came from some fancy marketing team, right? Nope. The AFL's founder, Lamar Hunt, actually got the idea from his kid's toy, a bouncy thing, called a Super Ball. He just started calling the game the Super Bowl as a joke, thinking it was just a placeholder. But, well, the name caught on, and it just stuck. So, okay, we've got the game and we've got the name. But to become a real holiday, you need a spectacle. And that is exactly where the halftime show comes in. It completely transformed from a simple break into a can't-miss global event. The transformation here is just wild. The very first halftime show had college marching bands and the release of hundreds of pigeons. Yeah, pigeons. But then came 1993, when the NFL brought in Michael Jackson. It was a total game changer. For the first time in history, TV ratings actually went up during halftime. He proved the break wasn't just filler. It could be an attraction all on its own. And now, that 15-minute slot is the most sought-after stage in the entire music world. Of course, you can't really talk about the Super Bowl without talking about the commercials. It's the one time all year that people actually look forward to the ad breaks. It's become this whole other game within the game. And if you had to pinpoint the moment it all changed, it was 1984. Apple released this epic, cinematic commercial directed by Ridley Scott. It felt more like a short film than an ad, and it was a total sensation. It proved that the Super Bowl ad break could be a huge cultural event all by itself. Just how big of an event is it today? Well, there's your answer. $7 million for 30 seconds of airtime. And why? Because you're not just buying a commercial. You're buying a guaranteed audience of over 100 million people who are actually paying attention. And finally, what's a holiday without food? Well, the Super Bowl has that covered, on a scale that is honestly just mind-boggling. Think about this for a second. This one day of watching football beats out every single other holiday when it comes to eating, except for one: Thanksgiving. That's it. So, what exactly is everyone putting away? The numbers are just staggering. First up, the undisputed champion, chicken wings. Americans eat a shocking 1.45 billion of them on one day. Then, for a bit of crunch, how about 11.2 million pounds of potato chips? That's about 5 million kilograms, for those of you keeping score at home, all consumed during just a few hours of football. And what goes with all those chips? 8 million pounds of guacamole are whipped up for the big day. That's over 3.5 million kilograms. I mean, the sheer scale of this feast is what really solidifies its status as a holiday. In fact, the party is so big, it has its own official aftermath. The Monday after the game is famously known as Super Sicky Monday. Why? Because of the sheer number of people who call out of work to recover from the food, the fun, and the late night. So you see, from a simple grudge match that was named after a child's toy, all the way to a global spectacle fueled by pop stars, cinematic ads, and billions of chicken wings. The Super Bowl's journey has been incredible. It really makes you wonder, with technology and culture changing so fast, what will this unofficial holiday look like 50 years from now?